Welcome to day 6 of my seasonal 7 series, where I post 7 videos in 7 days themed around and leading up to the winter solstice. So today we're going to look at what is in store for you for the winter season ahead, or what messages Spirit has for you. I'll have ornaments for you to choose from, and as per usual, there'll be extensions on Patreon. So take a moment to decide if you would like pile 1, that'll be the green ornament. Pile 2 will be this kind of champagne-y gold ornament. And then pile 3 will be the red ornament. Choose your pile, whichever one resonates with you. And then timestamps below for your reading. All right, if you chose this green ornament, pile 1, let's be reading. All right, pile 1. All right, well, the first thing that stands out the strongest is going to be the Chariot being clarified by the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is really all about your desires. It can also be illusions, daydreams, that kind of thing. But in this particular instance, because it's being it's clarifying the Chariot, it feels to me like this season you are in the process of learning to or beginning to take the reins of your own life and charge towards what it is that you want. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have all of these fantasies and ideas in your head of what you want your life to look like. And you've spent a long time probably fantasizing about what you want your life to look like. And you've finally been like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm going for it. And like, that's the vibe. That's the vibe. Now, in the process of doing so, it looks like you may meet a lot of obstacles. Right away, we have conflict with... It could be financial conflict is kind of the vibe I'm getting. In order to charge against your dreams, there may be a period of financial hardship and complications, or fighting over how you should use your money or how you should get your money. Like, perhaps people around you are telling you that is irresponsible, or maybe there's partnerships in your home that are telling you that that's irresponsible. There are 3 court cards. They are all reversed. You have the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is what's clarifying the Five of Wands, which where the conflict's coming from. King of Pentacles is solid foundation. It's consistency in financial matters and abundance. It's reversed though, which leads me to think that there's going to be some conflict in regards to your stability, your general stability in life, in regards to you charging towards what it is that you want. Now, you will be found victorious over opposition. It looks like, so you have Justice upright as well, and that's being clarified by the Queen of Wands in reverse. There's a couple ways this can go. As always, this is a general reading, which means there easily could be hundreds of people who watch this same pile, so I can't deliver messages specifically to you all the way across the board. There should be bits and pieces in here for you. I say that because this particular card combination, I have a couple of different like intuitive grabs of what it is, and they're going to vary. So whichever one is yours, one's not, it's not. Okay. For some of you, there is a need to separate from a person in order to move forward with your life. There's a person in your life who is kind of, I would say, like short-tempered and aggressive and that kind of thing. Like, oh, fuck you. Like, a lot of that, you know. That person, there's a required divorce in that person. I think a lot of the people it's gonna apply to, those people are going to be relationships. Like, there's some of you who need to break up with your spouse in order to move forward with your dreams. Now, that doesn't apply to everyone. That's just why I gave you the thing I said a minute ago. For some people, it's just going to be victory in the face of opposition. Like, there are those people who are telling you you can't do what you're trying to go do, and this will be victory in the face of that. And the way that feels is very like them watching from below as you ascend and succeed. There is a need for you to be compassionate as well. There's almost too much aggressive arrogance in your charging forward, and Spirit is saying, like, collaboration could really help you, but you're gonna have to kind of be open to that and be compassionate and caring. So while For a lot of people, or for some people, there's going to be a need to separate, and it could be a spouse, it could not be. I think there's a very strong feeling of there's a certain group of you watching this pile that definitely need to break up with your spouse or whatever. If that's you, you're gonna know it's you, like, period. You're already, if that's the thing that needs to happen, you're probably on the verge of it already, and you know that's what I'm talking about. So don't worry about it if it's not you. That being said, for those that, regardless, there's a need to be compassionate towards potential collaborators if you want success. There's also a need for you to learn new skills and learn new traits and become an apprentice, or you're being warned to not be too arrogant about your intentions to do something, whatever it is you're charging after. Yes, you should do it. And the bottom of your deck is the star, like, have hope, but also be humble enough to know where you succeed and where you don't, and where you should ask for help, and where you should get that help, and where you should be open to collaborate. I'm going to clarify this a little further, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, the instability thing does stand out to me pretty strongly. It feels very much like it's a test, you know. It just is. Like, in order for you to do this, you're going to have to, some things are going to have to crumble, or yeah, that's the Three of Pentacles over the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles in reverse is a part of the first reading. You just got it again on top of it, actually. I don't read reversals in this deck though, so it's upright. But the way that if you're new here, the way that I generally, throw my shit around, apparently, is the answer. No. The way I read, I'll draw my card, and then I'll build a pyramid on top. And that pyramid will essentially narrow the information down into one card on top, which is kind of the overall resonance of the pile. Yeah, okay. And I find that these cards kind of lead from one to the other. Bottom of the deck, by the way, was Fulfillment of Wishes, the Nine of Cups. So that's good. It's like, at the end of the day, you're fully capable of and will accomplish this goal. However, it is going to be turbulent. It looks like it's going to be turbulent. So we have the Ace of Swords. This is success, okay? And that's what's going over our Chariot. So what you're charging towards, you will be victorious. Now, in the bottom middle, we have Judgment, right? Yes, we have Judgment. And this deck is called Truth. I had to think about it because I can't see the number. This deck is called Truth. And on the other side of the bottom row of our pyramid, we have the Three of Pentacles, which is called Recognition and Reward. This is, again, it's about being recognized, but it's also about honing a skill set. Like I was saying a minute ago, about making sure that you're honing the skills that you need and not being arrogant enough to think that you can just do the things that you don't know how to do without learning how to do them. Make sure that you are remaining humble but dedicated towards your path. Having Judgment in the bottom middle, which is like the foundational part of my pyramid, which is also over these reverse court cards as well, is telling me that, like, what is going to happen, the turbulence that you will incur as you move towards your desires and dreams, is very much divinely guided, and it's very much a calling. You're being called to step up and own your light and own your power so that you can do what it is you're being asked to do. After that row, we have the Three of Swords as well as the Eight of Pentacles. Sorry, it's named weird, so it confused me. These cards doesn't. Anyways. So that's gonna be really painful, but like positive momentum. Like, you are going to move forward, but it's gonna be painful. I'm sorry. Like, it's just gonna be a little rough period. I don't want to like sugarcoat it. Now, like I said, at the end of the day, you have the Fulfillment of Wishes, and you also have the Star card. There is hope to be had over your dreams coming true, because they are. You have to work for them. But in the process of that working, many things will have to fall away, and many things within you will have to change. As I said before in previous videos, in order for your life to change, you have to change with it. So these changes, if you aren't making them willingly and consciously, will be forced upon you. That's just how the system works. So you may lose people, things, places, thoughts, ideas, opinions, beliefs. The card that's on the top of your pyramid is the Two of Swords, and this deck is called Mental Conflict. It's very much a feeling of like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? I don't know if I'm doing this right. Is this right? This is all a mess. This can't be right. How can it be divinely guided if it's such a fucking mess? But like, divinely guided things are often messes. Don't doubt yourself there. It looks like your winter season is definitely going to require a bit of shadow work. My most recent video from this series, video 5 out of 7, was winter shadow work. If it's something you're willing to do, if you haven't already, I would encourage you to watch it, because it looks like with all of this falling away and movement forward, it looks like you may need to let go of some limiting beliefs in order to achieve your goals. So I would recommend you looking into that if you have not yet already. By the way, that heartache and loss card, the Three of Swords card, is also sitting on top of the cards that I was referring to as a breakup, just further letting me know that I was right on that. So there is a subsection of you for sure that certainly have a need to let go of somebody in your life. If that's not you, then it's not you. But there's a good chunk, I would say. It feels like a notable amount of people watching this particular pile are in relationships that have served their purpose. It's not, people get mad about breakups and sad about breakups, but if something has served its purpose, then it's served its purpose. And each person, all people involved, then benefit from its dissipation, because that's where you can then follow on to the next part of your journey, the next part of your path. For those of you it's not a breakup for, then it's going to just be kind of standing in the truth and justice of being right. Or, oh, that's the other thing too. That's what I forgot. Sorry. For some of you, there's the complications may result in a legal battle. For those of you that it does result in a legal battle, you will win the battle. And I think there's going to be a moment where it looks like you're not going to, but you will. So for those of you that end up in a legal battle on account of the complications for you pursuing your dreams, wildly specific, I know, but that's what's coming through. For those of you that it is, then you will win the legal battle. Don't question it for a second. My camera has a 20-minute time limit on it, so my alarm goes off after 20 minutes, and I have to reset it. So, oracle cards now. The first one is the Cardinal Moon. Be bold and make the first move. This very much for me is the energy of pursuing something. Like, go ahead, go, make the move towards what it is you want, and just further confirmation of that. The next one is work through your fears. That is another part of this mental conflict thing as well, is that some of the mental conflict is going to be a lot of, again, like those limiting beliefs I was talking about, needing to do shadow work for. Those limiting beliefs are going to come from fears that you have regarding if things will work out, or if they won't, or if you can do this, or if you can't, or whether or not you're capable, or whether or not the money will come through, or whether or not people will think of you, or whatever the fucking thing is. Those are going to be based in fears, limiting beliefs. This says to work through your fears. So it's just another call for you to do the shadow work if you're not already. And then the last one of this set anyways, is you and the loved ones are safe. This is a confirmation to you from Spirit to let you know that yes, this may be a very tumultuous time for you, but this time will result. It will, your family, you and your family will be safe. It's not like it's gonna suck, but it's all gonna work out. I feel like I'm the least friendly tarot reader. There's at least 1 or 2 piles every reading where I'm like, this is gonna suck. So sorry. But I feel like an asshole. Please forgive me. On to unicorns, because unicorns are fucking awesome. The first one is trust. Leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward, believe you will fly. These cards are so just continuous. Like there really isn't much complication in your message. The message is very clear. Like I don't feel like I'm going to keep pulling these cards, but I feel like they're all going to say the same thing. Maybe I'll get something more, we'll see. But it's a lot of like, have faith, jump, leap, go after it. It's all going to work out. Might suck a little bit, but don't worry. Nature, ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, connect with elementals. I think it is important for you to stay grounded throughout this process. and connect with yourself and with nature, I would recommend observing the solstices, equinoxes, full moons, new moons, these things that help keep you tied in to the natural flow of the universe so that you are staying in your power. And then receive. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy of abundance. A gift is coming to you soon. Okay, perfect. So, there is a very particular shadow that I'm very familiar with because it was a shadow that I went to bat with for a very long time. And this is my cue to tell you about it. That's what this is. There's the being open to receive. It is something that I had a hard time with. I mean, maybe you can relate. So the idea is that you don't want to ask for anything. You don't want people to give you anything. You don't feel like they should. It makes you feel guilty. If the idea of somebody giving you something makes you feel guilty, then you are not open to receive. In order to receive blessings, in order to accomplish the goals that you would like to accomplish, you are going to have to be open to receive. The universe cannot bless you with things you are not willing to take. Now, when I say willing to receive, think about it like this. How do you get blessings? Well, honestly, they usually come from people. Okay, I'll give you an example. I did not have a car. I didn't have any car or any means to buy a car. It was 2 years ago. A friend of mine had a Saturn Vue, and it had like 150,000 miles something on it, and she went and bought herself a fancy new Audi. Instead of trading that car in, she gave it to me for free. Okay, like that is what it is to receive a blessing. It comes through the form of people. Now, that is the same as the universe blessing you, but you have to be open to receiving it from people because it's not like cars and money are going to fall out of the fucking sky. So you have to make sure that you're open and willing to receive from people. This is a call for me to tell you to do shadow work on your ability and willingness to receive help, money, assistance, blessings, gifts. If the idea of being given something makes you feel guilty, then you have a button there. Onward. Okay. I don't feel like not these ones. These cards this is a brand new deck that I got. That'll be in my January tarot haul. But they're still kind of stuck together. The first one that came out, though, is Talk Less, Feel More. And that just, if you've been watching this series, this entire series is about winter and how to properly honor and align yourself with the wisdom of the season, the wisdom of nature. With that comes isolation, moving inward, silence, introspection, these kinds of things. So this is, if you haven't been watching my series, this particular series, I would recommend the shadow work one for you would be great. I also think it would behoove you to watch the first one in this series, which is Seasonal Alignment, where I talk about what it is to align with the season, because this card, which says talk less, feel more, is kind of the energy of winter. You're being asked to spend time healing and spend time being the hermit, kind of spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself. If you're going to charge after big dreams, you're going to have to be really firm within yourself. Attend to the details is the next one. That's going to also require the same kind of thing. You're going to have to spend time working with just you. This isn't about talking to people. This isn't about talking about your dreams. This isn't about talking about what you want to do. This is about you just fucking doing it. And then cool your emotions. I think with all this conflict we were already talking about in here, it's feasible to say that you may get emotional at some point. And that is a call to spirit to you, from spirit to you, to tell you to make sure that you're working on them. If your emotions are triggering you, it's because there's shadows there. Not to keep just batting shadow work to death for you, but it's definitely a big component of this. You're going after big dreams. In order to do that, you're going to have to change internally. The last card I'm going to pull from you is from the Beyond Lemuria Pocket Edition deck. I will link all these decks in the description box below, by the way, if you want them. This deck has a channeled art on one side and then description on the other. I will read this to you. Hopefully slowly, because we all know I talk to you fast often. The violet flame. As we deepen our spiritual path, step out of illusory constructs, and become empowered beings, life presents more opportunities to grow than before. Your sensitivity will be heightening, so it may be harder to spend time in places with certain energies. Do you have a range of accessible go-to practices for recentering, cleansing your aura, and protecting your energy field? A routine for psychic fitness will keep your aura strong and resilient, your energy sovereign, and your vibration high, and help you to see through illusions that block or disorient. Bring the violet flame into your meditation and self-care practices for graceful rebalance. So, just a short summary. With all of this that's happening, this act of you going after something triggers a whole onslaught of other things, and it triggers largely your evolution and growth. Through the evolution and growth, as you grow, you will become more in tune with yourself and the others around you. This is about, again, being grounded and having a good practice. I would recommend strongly that you observe not only the seasonal observances, the solstices, equinoxes, and quarter points, but also the full moons, the new moons, quarter moons. I would really spend some time getting in tune with those things for yourself moving forward. Now, if you're a Patreon member, the extension to this will be on Patreon. Other than that, I hope this was helpful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment or a like or subscribe. It really helps me tremendously and I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Alright, if you chose pile number 2, which is this gold ornament, then this will be reading. Alright, pile 2. So here's the thing. When I first got ready to do this reading, I had this like energy shift from pile 1. And I was like, oh, I think this group is like happy. They feel very joyous. They feel very happy. They feel very like celebratory is the feeling that I had. And the bottom of your deck is the 3 of Cups, which is a celebration. So I was right about that. It's interesting because these cards, I've never had this feeling with these kinds of cards. Like, the feeling that these readings give me is often part of what drives the reading itself. It's like how I feel is the energy. I don't know. Well, anyways, point is, I feel very celebratory and very excited, and yet we have like reverse lovers and tower and like the 8 of Cups, like, but I feel very celebratory. So I'm gonna read them that way, okay? Tower reverse, clarified by the Magician, the Empress, the Hierophant, the 6 of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, Queen of Cups, and 8 of Cups. All right, it's excitement is what it is. So the Tower, this is what's standing out the most to me. So the Tower reverse with the Magician. The Tower is generally the collapse of your life, right? The Tower is indicative of something in your life collapsing. It's when we have a Tower moment, it's like everything fell apart. Blah. The Tower, when it's reversed, the way I often read it, the way I feel called to read it now, is that you knew it was coming. It's not an unexpected. The Tower is typically an unexpected lightning strike and everything falls apart. When it's reversed, it feels much more inevitable. This time, with you, it feels like you collapsed it on purpose. And it's being clarified by the Magician, with the Magician as being the like divine masculine. It is the like the creator card. He has all 4 elements. He's got his hands, the eyes above, so below. He's got the Ouroboros around his waist. He's got like all of the symbolism in this card is indicative of somebody who's learning to create their own reality. That's what's clarifying the Tower. It's almost like you are choosing to collapse your own life so that you can create it on purpose. You also then have the Empress, the mother, the feminine, with the Hierophant, the higher learning. And it's for some of you, the intuitive hit that I have is homeschooling. Like, some of you are like, I'm homeschooling my kids. That's what I'm going to do now. And that's only a select few, but I feel like I have to say it. If you're debating on homeschooling your kids, the answer is fucking yes. Because of this combination, this like mother with education, it almost feels like homeschool. Aside from that, it's very much about like The Empress is the mother. It is the creator, right? So very much in my mind, anyways, one of those cards but it's also luxury. It's Venus. Like the symbol of Venus is by her chair. She wears a crown. It's very much like luxury and love, and it's learning. It's learning to create this life that you want, and to do so, to destroy what you already had, to do so. And to take on higher learning. You might be learning feminine principles as well. You may be taking on a new feminine journey. And that could be something that is part of it. What keeps catching me up is this Six of Cups, Lovers in Reverse thing. Listen, if these two cards were upright, I would say that it is returning to a lost love, or going back to the point of nostalgia from somebody that you, like the one that got away, or the one you wish you always had, like very much that energy. To have the Six of Cups and the Lovers be together like that. The Lovers aren't necessarily about love. Lovers is Gemini energy. It's about decisions. It's about duality. It's about polarity. But if it is in any way partnered with a love card, it is about divinely guided love. The fact that they're both reversed tells me that it is blocked, or that it is an obstacle. It is a part of the equation that is tripping you up. But it looks like there is okay, listen, this is only for some of you. But I feel like, just hear me out. Some of you are leaving someone to go, like blowing your life up. You're leaving someone to go be with somebody else, create the life that you want, and take upon higher learning. And you're gonna celebrate that shit. Like, it's celebratory. It is freeing. It is like exciting. The Eight of Cups, walking away from things, with the Queen of Cups. To be next to these two, it's almost like this past thing that you haven't been able to get to because these things weren't in alignment yet, and you're trying to do that. You're trying to unlock them. It's like the one part of the equation that's not locked in yet, or you're trying to blow your life up and leave someone, but you haven't figured out this portion yet, or you don't know that you need to figure out this portion yet. For those of you which it is not romantic in nature, I do think the majority is going to be romantic, but for those of you it's not romantic in nature, this could very much be about creating a new life with a family orientation, like homeschooling your kids, creating a life that you want, and forgetting your past. Like just being like, fuck my past. I'm not going to do the things we have been doing. I'm going to do it a whole new way. And walking away from the situations and people in your life that are not serving you. There's a walking away and there's a blowing up for sure. Like the Eight of Cups with the Tower card, to have both of those out at the same fucking time is like you just being like, fuck it. And then to have the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck like that is so celebratory. I'm going to clarify, because honestly this pull is confusing the shit out of me. And new love. Okay, so the first one is the Ace of fucking Cups. Oh, and yes, fuck. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. I'm telling you, your pile's got me hyped up. I feel so like alive. When I was shuffling your card, the one card that popped out that I saw was the Ace of Cups. And I was like, oh, maybe that's why I feel so excited with this time. Maybe they have new love coming in. Boom, Ace of Cups. This is new love. I do think a lot of people who are watching this pile, it's all about love for you guys. A lot of you, if not all, most. Yeah, it's about saying fuck this, leaving things behind for love. And then the Three of Cups again. Now, the fact that there are a Three of Cups twice, while this one, it says rejoice and celebration. Did I not fucking say those words already? I'm telling you, I'm so excited right now. For those of you that it is not so exciting, or for some of you where it is love related, to have the Three of Cups come out with love cards can often mean a third party situation, meaning you're leaving somebody for somebody else, or you've already had an affair, or your partner's having an affair and you're leaving them. Third party energy all day. Not energy, but third party like symbolism all day. Like under most, if I was doing a private one-on-one reading, I would probably be like, did you cheat, or are they cheating, or are you trying to leave them with somebody else? Like, what's going on here? That's what I would probably ask. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles, positive movement forward. Why does this look like the Six of... It's so weird. Okay. Movement forward. That's the Chariot. This is triumph, momentum. Like, you are winning. This is such a celebratory ending to, like, it's so weird to have such positive cards with, like, the Tower and the Eight of Cups. Are just traditionally so sad. My guess would be that you have just been so sad for so fucking long that you're just like, don't give a shit, and you're just freed by the fact that it's all collapsing. Like, you don't even care. You also have the throat chakra. This is about speaking your truth. It's about honoring your voice. It's about speaking up, being heard. And then, boom, the world card is the one on top. So if you're new here, this is how I read cards. I lay out your tarot, and then I build a pyramid on top. That pyramid focuses all the messages into one. I feel like I sound manic in this reading, and I'm fucking sorry. Yeah. It focuses all of the energy of the symbolism and the messages up into one point. It's the top of my pyramid, and in this case, it is the world card. The world card is the completion. It's like you, it's the completion. It's the Fool's journey completed. The Fool is the 0 in the major arcana. The world card is the 21st and the 22nd card. In the major arcana, that is when you've completed this fucking long, arduous journey that may have taken you a decade or your whole fucking life to get up and out of. But that's what you're doing, really. You're completing this huge, important, massive cycle, and it feels very, very exciting. I'm gonna pull some tarot cards, some oracle cards for you. Believe in the impossible. The blue moon is the first one. I think you do already. I don't think I need to tell you that. This pile feels like people who are just like, oh, borderline reckless, honestly. I'm surprised I didn't get a Fool card. A new romantic cycle begins. I can't make this shit up. A personal issue reaches resolution. Yeah, this is something that you've been dealing with for a very long time. And yes, I think virtually everyone watching this particular pile is going to have a new love situation. Yeah, I know. It's hard because I can definitely feel, it almost feels like a lot of people are watching this particular pile. And there's so much variation within it that I'm having a hard. It's like they're not all love. Like, you're not all love related. But the strongest energy, the one I'm most connected to, the one that's coming through at like a fucking powerhouse at me. It's almost like an assault of love and joy and celebration. It's almost what I feel right now. That's the one that's coming through. And I feel like there's more people here, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you. All I can hear is this shit. Assess the situation. Focus on the positive. And lighten up. This is about making sure that as you're making this huge transitional phase of your life, as you're crumbling these things that walk away from others, that you make sure that you're staying focused on the positive aspect and that you remain light of heart. This is about taking joy in the little things in life and being grateful and being present and assessing the situation properly. Don't allow your bucket attitude or your over excitement to celebrate to cloud your ability to assess and act rationally either. I'm gonna grab you a couple of deities and ascended masters, and I guess we're going to too. Sure. What do we have here? First one up is, well, actually the third one I pulled, but first one I'm gonna say is, you know, I really hate when I pull out like Hindu deities and stuff because I know I can't say them correctly. Bahavadar, Bahi. No, there's no way I'm even close. It's Mahavadar Babahi. It's got a chakra on it. I'm pretty sure is that a third eye chakra or a throat chakra? It's a third eye chakra. Or is it? Oh no, it's neither. It's the Om with the I know this shape because I'm supposed to be researching it. I'm not. The Sri Yantra. It's the Sri Yantra with the Om symbol over his throat and heart area. It says soul expansion. Your consciousness, that was such a ramble you didn't need to hear, sorry. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. Good for fucking you. I believe it. You have the fucking world card at the top of your pyramid, so I bet you've learned a tremendous amount. You're probably highly evolved. Okay. Also, Asian deities I can't pronounce either. Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. I think that comes back to that third-party situation. If you're in a third-party situation, then make sure that you're taking all people into account, because as much as you want to leave someone behind or say fuck it and blow things up, which is very easy to do, especially if you're in that mindset, those are still humans. Everyone involved is still a human who deserve love and respect and compassion. Prayer and contemplation. This is the charity is the deity's name. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. It's literally as simple as prayer. Like, it's telling you to be mindful of prayer and to pray when you need guidance or when you want help or if you want the path cleared. Last up for you is to give you a Beyond the Myriad card. I swear by these. They are the most informative, like, badass deck ever. Had to reset the camera there. Sorry. Oh, shit. Sticks. All right, can we just get one? Not a pile. Not a pile. One. If you give me a pile, I'll take the one on top. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. Can I have one? Can I have this one? Okay. Oh, ether. The seamless, unspeakable. This illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the centered and present place where all dreams are birthed. From here, you can choose where to go. What may be perceived as endless nothingness is an illuminated eternal. The core that all fears may be peeled back to. Step through the darkness and realize it is only a short distance for the white void at the center of creation. Herein lies the feeling you may have been striving to meet, yet subconsciously running from. In graceful surrender, know you are held and drop deeper into existence. There's just no fucking way that some person who's watching this at this point isn't highly evolved. There's just no way. There's no way this card would come out if you weren't, like, hyper aware of the truth of the nature of reality and your consciousness and its ability to bend it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a card like that. So kudos to you. If you are a Patreon member, then this read will continue over on Patreon. And other than that, please leave me a comment, a subscribe, like, whatever, just to help the algorithm. It helps me, and I appreciate it tremendously. It sounds like your winter season's gonna be fucking dope, but maybe a little rough for the transition, but ultimately celebratory. So enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. Pile 3. If you chose the red ornament, this is gonna be your reading. Okay, pile 3. First of all, your cards are fucking erratic. These are really powerful, really strong, really intense cards. They also were flying everywhere. I had to get multiple off the floor. The deck kept flipping in half. There was like multiple. It's like all of the cards wanted to come out. They were like all of them, just all the cards. So first up, this is a very new, fresh beginning for you, for sure. And it also feels like, this is contradictory, but it feels like the end of a very long, arduous cycle that leads to a new beginning, I guess you should say. We have the 10 of Wands with the 9 of Swords. We also have the High Priestess with the 9 of Wands. The 9s and the 10s, and then the Fool is the bottom of the deck. You also have 2 Aces, one reverse, one up. Aces are new, fresh beginnings or opportunities. The Fool is a new beginning. The 10 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Wands are all very much about the completion of cycles. And I would almost say that you're completing kind of multiple moderately stressful cycles simultaneously is almost what it feels like, and that they are allowing the opportunities, new opportunities to arise. These opportunities combined together will create a fresh new perspective, a new beginning. I don't know why I say perspective, but whatever. You have, for starters, there's a new opportunity for understanding and clarity in regards to your home and relationship matters. You have the 4 of Wands here being clarified by the Ace of Swords. This, however, is followed immediately by the 10 of Wands, which came out with the Queen of Cups. Actually had them sitting together like this. And that's being clarified by the Nine of Swords. This is about being close to the finish line, but also at the same time being worn down with burdens for carrying the load for so much. The Ten of Wands depicts a man who's carrying 10 wands in front of his face, to the point that he can't even see where he's going. Like, the actual house that he's going to is right over here. You can see it in the card, but he can't see it because of all the wands in front of his face. It's like he's been carrying this load for so long. He's like, his posture's leaning forward. He's like trudging through. And that's being clarified by the Nine of Swords, which is about kind of sleeplessness, insomnia, stress, restless mind. Like, it's kind of mental fatigue more than anything. So the wands represent spirit and fire and inspiration. So it's like spiritual exhaustion, mental exhaustion. And the Queen of Cups is also in there somehow. I would insinuate, or I would assume then, as a general reading, because there are potentially hundreds of people who will all watch this video, this particular pile specifically, that this is in regards to emotional matters. Like, it's both the spiritual exhaustion and the mental fatigue are related to your emotional state. It's like your emotions are creating both of these situations. But it is offering a lot of opportunity with, or this is coming with the opportunity for clarity, or the clarity itself is causing it, one or the other. Because I do see clarity, and then I see this fatigue, and it's almost like they kind of mush together, really. It's like there's clarity and there's fatigue. That's what I'm saying. This pile is very like nearing the end and also the beginning. It's almost like you have different areas of your life, and some of them are like falling into place and aligning, but the rest of them, there's still other ones that are like still require more attention, kind of thing. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse with the Death card. And this just insinuates to me that perhaps you have had or are about to have tumultuous financial times, but this is the end of that cycle. You're coming to the end of that cycle as well. Like, you're coming to the end of that situation and being able to see it differently and have a fresh beginning in it. And then we have the Nine of Wands with the High Priestess. This is about perseverance of your own intuition. If you have an intuition, you have a belief, you have a thought, and you're trying to follow it, and it's being invalidated by people or situations around you, to where you're like, I don't fucking know. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm whatever. Maybe this is a dumb idea. This is about persevering. This is about continuing to hold tight to that despite the potential doubt that lies within. This will all lead to a fresh new beginning. So the Fool card's all about. It's a lot of pieces in play. Some are getting better and some are feeling like you can't carry them much longer. But the important part to note about that is that having the Ten of Wands, having the Nine of Swords, having the Nine of Wands, nines and tens are so close to the end of the cycle, because 10 is the highest number in minor arcana. These are all minor arcana cards. That's why I say they're moderate problems. They feel heavy, but they are minor arcana cards, so they at most are moderate. But combined together over a long period of time, moderate problems become wildly exhausting. And that's kind of the thing where you're like tired of carrying the weight, you know what I mean? But it is coming to a close. You have these new opportunities coming to the surface, but you are going to have to remain vigilant and hold your ground in regards to what you know to be true. And also, if you have not yet had the clarity in regards to your home, family life, and harmonious manners, seek it. I think you have had it or will have it soon, to have the Ace of Swords with the Four of Wands like that. I'm going to begin the clarification process now. If you're new to my channel, I clarify my pulls with pyramidal builds of clarifying cards. So I'll do 3 cards, stack 2 on top of that, and 1 more on top of that. And then we'll read the pyramid as so. The 3 on the bottom kind of gives me a foundation of clarity. The 2 give me kind of the next tier up, and then the top one is filtering all of the cards into one particularly overriding message of advice. This should help give more advice and clarity to what we're pulling. Okay, that's too many. 1 card to the top, please. It's 3 again. it doesn't want to give me one. Can I just have one card for that out? Thank you. Okay. We have the 5 of, these cards are, oh, what's wands? 5 of wands, what was that, temperance, the 2 of swords, that's your foundation, and then we have the 3 of wands, 4 of pentacles, and then the 6 of pentacles on top. So the key takeaway right away is that the top of your pyramid is, the name of it in this deck, it's the 6 of pentacles, but in this deck it's called material and spiritual prosperity. It is, in the depiction, it shows a man overlooking his land and his empire. Like, you are building something. It's just, I think you've been stuck in a fiscal rut for a while, and that, with the death card clarifying the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, tells me that that's coming to a close soon, throughout probably this winter cycle. New opportunities are arising. The Fool and 2 aces, there are new little things that are rising. The thing about aces, though, is they're not necessarily guarantees. Like, when I see a major arcana card, that's happening. There's no fucking getting around it, okay? That's coming down the pipeline. But minors, not necessarily. That's more navigable. That's more bendable. That's a bit more choose your own adventure-ish. You're going to end up kind of getting where your path is supposed to get you. That's inevitable, but it's how you get there. It's kind of up to you. That being said, when I see aces are more about opportunities that you could seize. So you have opportunities arising. It's important for you to be mindful of those, pay attention, and leverage them when they come. There are obstacles for you to overcome, and part of those obstacles are going to be your mental challenges and conflicts in your own division of not being able to make choices. There's choices that need to be fucking made, and you're going to have to make them. Obstacles and challenges here, the 2 of swords is here, which is mental conflict and choices. The card in between that is temperance, which is about balance. This is saying that when you are in the process of figuring out your position, decisions, and the conflict between what you feel and what obstacles are in front of you, you must find a centered, balanced place to make those choices. Don't make choices in haste. Don't make them when you're angry. Don't make them when you're excited. Find balance. This is what Spirit wants you to know, is to sit, don't make choices right away. When they arise, sit and find a balanced place before you make those choices. The next tier that we have is the 3 of wands and the 4 of pentacles. This is about how partnerships and alliances are going to create a firm foundation for you. This is not a path that you are intended to walk alone. This is a path that you are intended to have assistance with. You should have appropriate partnerships and alliances in your life to create the foundation that you want. That foundation is what you're going to build on to create this material and spiritual prosperity that you're seeking and that is coming down the pipeline. Now, it is a minor arcana card, the top of the tier is, which means that these aren't necessarily, this isn't the big, this is not like, do you have any majors? Your majors is the death card and the high priestess. This is your intuition and cycles ending, the Fool on the bottom. Everything else is, and temperance, being balanced. Everything else is kind of minors, which is telling me that this is just a lot of little working bits. You have no like super major cycles happening right now, which is good. The winter time is an excellent time for you to like spend time to go within and kind of sort out the details and get these things handled, which is what it looks like is going to happen. I would be interested to see what your spring looks like. I would imagine with these kinds of cards being your winter, that in the springtime you will probably have much more larger cycles approaching. It looks like you have this winter to kind of clarify, weed out details, and kind of get things in order. First one up is Full Moon, Surrender to the Divine. We're doing Oracle cards now. I didn't announce it, but that's what's happening. New Moon in Capricorn, your hard work pays off. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the wheels just moving. You just gotta go with the flow. Surrender to the Divine is a very go with the flow kind of card. Hard work paying off. That's that perseverance. You know what I mean? It's about staying steady. You've been doing it for a long time, but you have a little bit further to go. And then New Moon Eclipse, expect powerful change. I would say, based on these cards and the way I feel about this card, that this powerful change is something that you would see at the end of this winter cycle. Assuming that you did, in fact, do the work that needs to be done and that you were able to relinquish some amount of control to allow things to flow into your life instead of for you to force things outwardly. Okay, that's not supposed to be in there. Previous reading got all mixed together. Let's see. Cool your emotions is full moon in Aries, and then we also have new moon in Taurus, know your worth. That may be a part of the healing that should be done this winter, is understanding what you're worth. If you are trying to or hoping to seek abundance and financial prosperity in your life, you're going to have to, within you, know that you are worth it, and also remove any limiting thoughts and beliefs you have around money. So that card may be indicative of your need to dig into that particular shadow. And then we have, there's two here. They got stuck together. New moon in Aquarius, open up to change, and new moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. Yeah, I think with all these little moving bits and pieces, there's definitely a need to make sure that you are open and willing to receive the changes that are trying to occur. These little pieces are moving into place. That's what it feels like all these little... There's an important mechanism for the powerful change that will be coming eventually. And I think when that change comes, you're going to be asked to lead in some capacity or another. And I think you're maybe to some extent being prepared to be able to do that. Imagination, envision any reality, give yourself permission to dream and believe in unlimited possibilities. Yeah, it's more of that belief stuff. So I think perhaps part of your quest this season, this winter, is going to be about believing in yourself and believing what's possible. And then trust, leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward, believe you will fly. That's so surrender with the divine, be open to change. Having this one, this is a lot of like, maybe you have trust issues, you don't trust the universe, maybe faith, something you lack, which I fucking totally get, because I didn't have any for a very, very, very long time. But I will tell you what I tell everybody else, and that is that faith is in fact magic. And yes, that's where we're getting at too. Flow, surrender with the divine, this is more go with the flow stuff. Having faith is the amount of certainty required for things to actually manifest and draw into your life. I made a video called how to use magic to manifest your dream life. And in that video, I talk a lot about how you must make internal changes first, and then you can do ritual work or whatever you want, and then you take inspired action. That's how you manifest things. The one thing that I didn't go over in that video that I've gone over in other videos, though, is that you have to trust. You have to trust that it's going to go. You have to have absolute faith. There has to be no reservation within you. When you have faith in the universe to provide what it is that you're requesting, or to do what it is you're putting in motion, that's when you allow yourself to be open enough for it to flow in. Because the thing about it is things don't necessarily go the way you imagine them to. Maybe you want this thing and you think this is how you're going to get it, but you have to get it from this angle. Like the universe is like, no, we're going to this way. This is the way it needs to be done for whatever fucking reason. If you're not open to things not going this way, you're not open to it coming into you from the direction that it needs to. You have surrender to the divine, and you have trust, and now we have flow. Find an easier path forward, surrender to the outcome, release your expectations. These are cards about you needing to release your control over something and understanding that it's going to work out. You have to know that it's going to work out with absolute certainty. And that is one of the largest, it's like this double-edged sword where you have to believe to see magic. Like you have to believe in magic to see magic. But you do, and that's how it works. So you really gotta have open faith to the process. I'm gonna grab you a John Lemuria card. This is how I always end my readings. I grabbed two on accident. I guess, actually, hold on, I'll put these back in. Those are from other readings, so I'm just gonna... these have pictures on one side and then descriptions on the other, so I will read you out the back of the card. But I find that these cards have immense amounts of guidance. Oh my god, why did 3 come out? What is it with these cards? It was the same way when I pulled your first set of cards, and they were all just flying out. And yes, that's how I pull cards to let them fall out, but it's usually one at a time, maybe 2 on occasion. But not like the whole fucking deck like this keeps doing. Can I just have one? Can we just summarize with one, please? That's still 2. Alright, 2 it is. Go with the flow. Don't argue. I walk the walk. I talk the talk. All right, first one is trust and inner sense. Sounds about right. Sometimes it can be hard to decipher between intuition and what our mind is telling us. Stories, projections, or fear can arise under the guise of intuition. To distinguish truthful inner guidance from paranoia, we must return to innocence, to our purest essence. Here we have access to the truth of our being. Honesty is more than not lying to yourself. It is also about not withholding and having deep transparency within yourself. Learn to trust and be absolutely honest with yourself. In your heart of hearts, you hold the answers. Notice the first thoughts you have right before you second guess yourself. Listen and honor these. This immediately reminded me of how we had that temperance card saying that you need to find balance before you make choices. And we also had that 9 of Wands clarifying that the high priestess having perseverance with your intuition. I think that's what this is coming back down to. Is you have intuition, but you also have projections and fears and false ideas. This season is for you to really wheedle that out. These little bits and pieces. Part of that is going to be you having to decipher and discern within yourself what your intuition voice sounds like. It is very tricky and it makes you feel fucking crazy, and I totally get that. Because to trust something of which there is no objective guidance, truth, or no one can even corroborate is incredibly difficult. I mean, it makes you feel like maybe you're just delusional. I get that. And to some extent, if you just trust whatever thoughts you have without actually having done the healing on those thoughts, you will inevitably end up following delusional urges and wishes. I see it all the fucking time. People are like, I feel like I should do this. And I'm like, you think that's a projection of a lost inner child or some shadow work you haven't done? But no, they don't think that. They just believe whatever they think is probably truth. This is about discerning that, because there is a fine line. It is important to find it. The second one you got was Soul Star Chakra, merging with the divine. This image captures the merging of time beyond space and kaleidoscopic wisdom that penetrates our being. We have lived in many worlds, all interconnected. They uphold the lessons that carry as messages of transformation. Their synergy creates the expansion of the universe. Gaze into the place where the light between our stardust can become anything. And collective evolution is part of the grander story. When we simply let go, we become all that we have been seeking and glimpse the greater dream. Meditate on the idea that everything that ever was and ever will be is happening simultaneously right now across multiple dimensions. Because that's the legit truth. I went to an Ayahuasca ceremony a few months ago, and I ended up, me and another guy, were talking to this kid who was there. It was his first time drinking. This was all new to him. Not a particularly spiritual person at all. And we were talking about time, and me and I was like, we talking to this kid about how everything has happened. There is no future, past, or present. It's just all present. All present, all things are happening simultaneously across multiple dimensions at all times, at once. And why it wants you to meditate on that? It's probably because the creation process and being able to create is your ability to know that you can create is strengthened by the fact that everything that ever has or already will happen is infinite possibilities that exist right now all the time, so you don't have to create anything because it's already been created. That's having that realization, realizing that it's already there, makes it much easier to make that leap of faith which you need to make. If you are a Patreon member, I will now move over into Patreon. If this is where I depart from you, then I would appreciate. I ask of you only very, very little, just to leave a comment or a like or a subscribe, something like that. Interact with my content in some way. It helps me, it helps grow the channel, and I appreciate it very much. I will see you in the next video, or I'll see you on Patreon. Have a good day.